Hello, good morning everyone, and welcome to Odoo Live. My name is Noel. I am the community manager here for Odoo San Francisco. I'm joined today by George from Odoo. We'll be discussing the topic of Odoo Helpdesk and how to help your clients. Welcome, George.
Thanks, Noel. I'm happy to be here.
What's
so funny?
No, nothing. Today's presentation will take about 30 to 45 minutes, and as usual, we will leave a Q&A session at the end. We will address your questions and comments in the chat, and of course, if there's anything else that we cannot get to during this next hour, please send an email to webinars@odoo.com, or if you want to speak specifically with George, send an email to him at gsa@odoo.com. So let's see, without further ado, we can go ahead and get started. George, take it away.
All right, awesome. All right, guys, I'm just assuming most of you have seen an Odoo dashboard before, but just in case you haven't, this is what it looks like. It's very nice, very clean, very clear. Number of different modules. Most of you here have iPhones or smartphones for that matter. And it kind of works the same exact way. These are all different apps that are displayed. You can go and hover over them, and they highlight so you know they're actually being looked at. Sales, website, CRM. But today we'll be working and focusing on Help Desk. So the Help Desk is it's one of the ancillary features that Odoo has, meaning that you go in and create a question, and it's fed to us, and we go in and notice the question that's there. We do our darndest to actually address that question and get it fixed in a timely manner. So let's dive right in. Here we go. So here from Help Desk, we have our inner dashboard. You can see a number of things. You can see what tickets we have. You can set priorities or how high of a priority they already have, and the next one's a bit higher, and it's 3 stars, which is obviously the most urgent of all of them. Let's click on Dashboard first to see our tickets. This is the main view you'd see. Drill in, and we have some existing tickets. Number 1, software ticket, Alan Bell. Assigned to Ricky Spanish. Customer, Alan Bell. What's the problem? Well, it's a software ticket. And I can add a tag to it. Let's say I want to edit this. That tag can be a pre-existing tag, or I can create a new tag, meaning let's say it's slow. I've created a new tag. It's that easy. I can check on the same exact customer and see how many open tickets they've already had, or have open, or have had in the past. And it's right here. Kind of gives you a different view. I can have it set up this way as well. Back to the Kanban view of it. I can see the dates. I can see a bar graph. One was opened yesterday, one today. Back to this view. Open it up, shrink it down. I can see who it's assigned to, by company, created by, a number of other different views I can have, all here displayed from this view. Let's go back to what we saw. Back to our main tickets. And here we see the 6 tickets we have and what stage they are in the process. I can drag and drop manually, like so, or I can go in and adjust it from new to in progress to solved and more. And you can change this arbitrarily to your need. Here it's canceled. And down below, we have a running theme, and that's chatter. So chatter is really great. Really gives a new level of information. Let's say, for example, someone needs to note that this customer, Ava Gosling, tends to be a tricky customer, right? Someone add a picture saying this customer tends to be a bit tricky. Make sure you're really on top of your stuff. Say JPEG 1. And warning, this customer might be kind of tricky. Or just make a note. Now it's logged. If someone goes in later, checks the chatter, and says, okay, this was assigned by Ron Groves to Ricky Spanish. Its priority is low. There's a note here. So that kind of gives you full traceability and trackability of the ticket itself. Let's say I want to go in and change things. Add this to a higher priority, and it's that easy. I notice this has no tags. Let's change that. I hit edit, scroll over here, and it's a sales app issue. So let's say that issue is the sales app is running glitchy. Oh, that's something else. Let's do something else, something more unique. Maybe the sales app is broken. There you go. Now it's showing up as broken. I know to go in and fix it. I assign it to someone. But the way I have this set up, now this is something I want to show you guys. It's set up so that it automatically sets someone to be assigned to. We got Jimmy Baggs, Ricky Spanish, Ron Groves, Irene Melbourne, different people that work in our IT team. These are actually just arbitrary names, a little insider track there. And they are assigned based on how many things they've already have working. I can change that by going into configuration, going into settings, hitting edit, and its assignation method. Just kind of tells you how's it going to be assigned. I have it set to balanced. I can set that manually, meaning that I'm going to go in and set it to someone specific. Let's say, for example, Jimmy Baggs really knows, sales, CRM, and marketing. So because of that, we're going to go in and assign certain ones to Jimmy. And Ricky Spanish is really good at, let's say he knows studio really well, backwards and forwards in e-commerce. So we'll assign that manually. Just kind of another reason to help you understand why you can do that. You can turn on things like live chat, email alias, website forms, API, timesheets on tickets, etc. Canned responses even. That just kind of, it's self-explanatory. It's a response that someone has that's already pre-selected. Let's go back up, hit save. It's saved. Go back to dashboard. And we can see the tickets we have. And we can move this over. Let's just say Ron Groves. The team itself is support. It's now solved. Back to my tickets. And I think is it voila or viola? I forget sometimes. But yeah, so now it's solved. Ditto with this. You can go on in. Switch this up. It's likewise solved. It's moved over. Let's say I want to add another step. And step being, let's say it's considered. Now I have another step to do. Something that's in progress, something that's solved, and now it's considered. I can move that over. If I go, wait a second, considered makes no sense. What do you mean considered? Okay, no worries. I'll move it right back to solved. I want to shrink it down. You can delete it or fold it to use later. Boom. It's right there. Easy to use. Let's go to our all ticket view. It shows you tickets that are still open, the priority, their stage, assignation, the customer, of course the subject. So that's kind of a high level view of the Helpdesk app. It's pretty simple. There isn't really too much to it, and it's done like that on purpose. It's that way it's done. It's easy to use. You don't have to go in and change many things unless you need to. In different pages, etc. Any questions?
Not as of yet. Looks like everybody is in rapt attention to your presentation.
Yeah. Let me show you something else. Let's create a new ticket. So this one's going to be for lesser used, but still very useful, app called Studio. Let's say it just says Studio and doesn't say much else, right? Well, let's assign it. So first of all, we know Jimmy knows his stuff. Priority's fairly low. Customer is, let's say, Germany Exports. They recently bought something from us. They set up a website, and they're using Studio to make certain changes within website. Ticket type is question, because they have a question. They frankly need help configuring a certain designation within their e-commerce and Studio in website. And they know that the only way you can do that out of the box is using Studio. So the tag is question. Let's say Jimmy. Assign it to Jimmy because I know Jimmy knows this stuff best. Save it. Now Jimmy goes in, sees his queue. I can actually log a message right here. Log note to Jimmy. Let's say at Jimmy. Log. So he knows this is for him. This question is specified for something he might know. They'd log in, and they would see the question here. The tag saying, hey, Jimmy, guy's got an issue with Studio. Go ahead and play. I can go back and forth from this one I just created, this new ticket, to current tickets. And assign hours. Note where it is in the process. It's new, it's in progress, it's solved, it's considered, and more. Set this to solved, it's solved. Let's solve most of these actually. It's that simple. And they've all been moved over now. You can see it here. You can set to reporting, seeing how it's stacked and changed. Different views. There's enough data for this one to show this view, but here we go. Showing you solved. I can go back and change the status of the ticket. Let's say it's in progress. That's about half and half. Go back to reporting, tickets, and now it shows you how many are solved, how many are still in progress. So that's really nice and really easy to use. And it shows you these different views. And this is kind of a running theme throughout Odoo, where you can go and see the different views and issues you might have to be solved in the future. Any specific questions?
Yes, actually, we have two right now. Jake Johnson asks, can you add elements to tickets? For example, maybe we want to record that this is identified as a bug in the software, maybe a checkbox?
Sure. Not exactly a checkbox. I'd honestly make it under a ticket, and I'd make it, first of all, I'd say, number one, it would be an issue and add it as a tag. Or you can just add the specific description saying this is a bug. So I know to go in, and let's say I want to make that same bug. That's my description. I'd make it a ticket, and if it's an item that tends to pop up a lot, I know for certain applications they may have the same issue. So let's just randomly say it's CRM. CRM tends to have a bug, and then I'll every time I see someone come in and mark bug, I'll add a tag to that ticket and group those tickets together from, let's say, CRM and bug. That tells me overall, let's say over a 6-month period, I'm getting a number of different tickets with the same issue, where it refers to CRM and it mentions that there's a glitch or a bug. So I know, hey, you know what, something might be wrong with the software. Let's go ahead and address it then.
And then
add that tag. And follow-up is?
The follow-up is, what if you can't identify it as a bug until later in the communication?
Give me an example.
Well, if that's the case, it's from the same individual, Jake Johnson. If you have specific questions, you might be better off, Jake, sending an email then to George later today to gsa@odoo.com, and he can answer your questions more specifically.
But my understanding, you're asking me, so how do you know it's not a bug? I'd say just the best thing to do is just tell me what's wrong with it. Tell me if it running slow, is it not uploading, is something like that happening. Mark that or designate that as an issue. Describe the issue best you can. Then we'll go in and we'll obviously add certain tags based on what your description is of the issue. Then we'll group those together and go, hey, you know what? Maybe there's an issue. Maybe it's a system-wide thing, and you help us identify that issue, and we can actually solve it then.
Cool.
Yeah.
We do have one more question from the Shir Ohimada. So if you have, for example, 70 in-progress tickets, does it show those squares for all 70 and you have to scroll a lot to see them all, or does it change the formatting to a smaller view?
I'll show you what it does. It defaults to what's already here. For example, if I have it like this, in this view, let's do all tickets. It defaults to this view, Kanban view, and then if it's too many to scroll through, you can manually go in and change it like this. So you'd see where they are and where they are in the stage in progress, and you can change how it actually looks. So you can go between these two different views. So if you have 70 plus, you don't have to actually scroll up and down. You can just see, okay, this is the number of ones I have, it's assigned to, the stage it's at, and you can change the staging, and you can change the way it looks. So search, you can search, for example, solved. Change the view. Tags, ticket type, there we go. There you go. So you can see only the solved versus the in progress.
Cool. All right. Yeah. There you go. Those are the questions that we have so far. So please continue.
Yeah. See, beyond that, let me think. So Helpdesk is one of the more basic applications. It's not one of the ones that you can really show you a full flow, like inventory or sales. They kind of lead into one another. But on the back end, if I had someone come in and put in a ticket, I log in and see tickets. I can see how many. Let's say someone logged in and starts working on a ticket. They would mark their average working hours. So if you're a company and you have each person, let's say they work at $10 an hour, kind of just a low number, but say they worked at $10 an hour, they can log in and mark that they have worked on ticket A for half an hour. So that's, they can mark that to their timesheet. So later when you go and do employee expenses, you see this person worked on this number of different tickets, and this is the average length of time they took to work on each ticket, which is very nice, because then it kind of gives you some kind of traceability and trackability of each employee that works for you, how many hours they've worked, and how many tickets they've closed in those hours. Run a report and later see and show, okay, yes, this person was very efficient on Tuesday. They took on so many tickets and closed them in record time. But by Thursday and Friday, things kind of slowed down, and they weren't able to actually work at the same clip. So that's kind of nice about the system. We don't have enough information here to show that, but I can describe it as I just did.
And of course, feel free to send, if you have any more specific questions, you can always send them directly to George.
And that's gsa@odoo.com. And if you like a specific demonstration of this application or any other applications, I do have an Acuity link. Send me an email and I'll send you that Acuity. Beyond that, let's play with configuration and see what we have here. So reporting and tickets. Let's change things. Let's remove team members. So we take out Jimmy Baggs, Ricky Spanish, we leave Ron Groves, Irene Melbourne. Then we set this to balanced like it had it before. A new ticket would open, and it's going to balance only between these two. I can go in and later change that and have it set so that obviously if I need specific tickets sent to certain people, I can do that. But as of right now, these are the only people that would be associated with the balanced ticket assignation. We have self-service help desk. It's an extra thing you can add. E-learning, self-explanatory. Hit save. Let that load. Go to dashboard, create new ticket. And now, if you noticed, it assigned something specifically to Ron Groves. Why? Well, because Ron Groves only has no tickets. So that's why. It does it for you, keeps it simple. Create tags, add new ones. Let's say add a color to it. Say it's blue. It's not letting me do it. It's all right. I'll just save it without a color. Tag already exists, and there you go. No questions there. And there you go. And you type a description, add priority, assign it to. It's done. It's already done for you. Ava Gosling on the back end. If you have an existing customer, that information's there. Click on it. Why, Ava Gosling? What a masculine look you have. And you have information here, their address, what sales they've done in the past. So you can drill down and see that. Meetings, opportunities, customer ledger, more, tickets, invoiced amounts, etc. So this is all fed on the back end from other existing apps you have. This shows the sales app. Let's say they've bought a number of different things. It shows you that, so it's kind of useful. So you see this person, they're making their fourth or fifth sale. Here we go. I clicked on that sale, and I can now see that Ava Gosling with salesperson Ron Grove has bought a number of items. And let's say they have a question about anything they bought, they go to help desk, and it goes back. I can follow my breadcrumb trail up here from this sales order 20 all the way back to the ticket that she's opened. It's that simple. Any follow-ups?
Yeah, we've got a few more questions. I think we'll hold off for a little bit longer just so you can make sure that you have gotten through everything that you need to get to before we address them at the end.
Okay, let's see what else we can do. No tickets under this dashboard to display. It shows you which available hours. This isn't linked up to any specific person. We have to add some extra apps to do that. That just, again, it kind of tells you this idea that someone can go in. Let's say it is Jimmy Baggs. He goes in, he puts in his hours, he logs that he's worked a certain number of hours, and he doesn't have to actually do it per ticket. He can do it per sitting. Let's say he works from 8 until noon, and then takes an hour off, and then in between just happens to show he's gone through this many tickets. So you can do it either or you can do it specific to a ticket or just specific to a task. That task being number of hours taken. And that's, again, it's all completely connected on the back end to all the other applications. Let's see a good example of this. Okay, let's look at, let's see, Alan Bell. Let's do Ava Gosling. No, Let's do a different person. Let's create something new. Customer. As, for example, beadscolores. They have an issue with their inventory. So again, it's automatically assigned. It's something that I know that is very important because I've set the priority to 3. I've saved it. Now I want to go in and I'm wondering what the heck, like this person has an issue with their inventory app. Let's check out beadscolores. Let's check out what exactly this company's about. They have 7 purchases. This is their first ticket, but I want to know more exactly about their question, because their question, even though it has to do with inventory, since inventory is linked to their purchases and to their manufacturing app, and I'm the salesperson and I happen to know on the back end what they bought, I want to drill a bit deeper. So you click on purchases and the back end changes. See that? Hit save and it's just drilling deeper and deeper. So I'm seeing things on the back end in sales and purchasing, but I'm still under the help desk application. I've just delved deeper into it. I'm looking at the request for quotes and purchases. So I'm looking at what was bought and when. Okay, so they're saying inventory, but this looks like a purchasing app problem. So with help desk, you can actually go and drill around and see each customer. Because a lot of times people don't know. Like they might say something like, I have an issue with inventory, I have an issue with sales, when really their issue might be with something that's connected to sales. So again, because there's so much interconnectivity between all the different apps, oftentimes a customer might have a question that they think is specific to one application, but because help desk allows you to jump from application to application, you really can see what the issue might be based on what apps they're actually using, what sales orders they're using, what purchases have been made in the past. So this is really nice because you can actually drill down from there and do a bit of homework before you can go and address the issue. Because a lot of times one issue isn't the issue you really think it is. It's another issue on the back end. So for example, I'm looking at this. You go, okay, it's a request for quote. What was done here? Okay, she has some beads. She built this out, and she's saying her issue is, let's say theoretically, the issue is inventory is something I actually see more often than not. Someone says, well, why isn't my inventory adjusting my new amounts? And I'm like, well, actually, because you have this route set up in such a way that you have to actually manufacture something, but you can't manufacture something until something is purchased. So her issue with inventory has nothing to do with inventory at all. It has something to do with 2 other functions that have to be done. And by doing this homework from my help desk module, I can drill down and see, oh, she has this set up in such a way that she has to purchase, she has to manufacture, and then inventory is then updated. Why isn't my inventory updating? Well, it's because you haven't purchased, you haven't sent an RFQ to your pre-existing vendor to purchase something, then you haven't gone into manufacturing, manufactured it, at which point when you hit yes, it is indeed manufactured, your inventory is now adjusting the appropriate amounts, because you have to actually tell other things have to be done before that inventory is updated. So that's very nice and it's very useful about help desk. I can go and do a bit of homework, because more often than not, as a person that works with help desk, I have to do that on their behalf, because even after talking to the person, talking to the customer, they might not understand how the 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 apps work together. Let's go back. Inventory app issue. And that's a good example that can really show you guys of what I'm talking about. But there you go.
Cool.
And I would say that is the long and the short of how help desk works.
Excellent. Let's see. All right, we do have a few remaining questions. Let's see. From another one from the Shir Ohimada. Let's see. So can custom fields be added to the ticket? And if so, can they be marked as required where the ticket cannot be opened without it?
Yes, yes. So you can change things. Actually, I'd use Studio app for that one. You can add custom fields to this. The way it's set up, it just gives you these fields, but you can add more. You can add Studio. You can drag and drop if you want more fields. For example, assign to me. Let's say you want to add tags. Let's do file, HTML text, multi-line text, columns, tablets. Right here, you can remove a tag. What I would do is, I need a bit more specificity in what you want added, but yes, it's a possibility. You can drag and drop, for example, like many to one, one to many, new field, like you add it here, maybe you want it added up here. You can definitely do that, but you would have to use the Studio app for that. Multi-line text, right there. Then add, close. Give it a moment, and all of a sudden, here you go. You have a new field that's been added to an existing area.
Cool. Great.
Yeah. So it's that simple.
Excellent. So then looks like we have one final question from Stepcraft Inc. After initially replying to a customer's ticket, is there any way to see at a glance which tickets require a reply? We find tickets often get lost or forgotten after the initial reply.
Yes, but you have to talk to your IT professional and have them tag things appropriately. If it's something that needs an initial reply, you'd have to go in, see it, and then tag it, and then later. For example, for us, we do that all the time in our CRM. If I see all of my initial leads, I go in right away. I mark them as based on what time, where they are in terms of where they are in the country. If it's an East Coast call, then I know I have to mark it as East Coast. I might just set it and forget it, and the next few days go back and just see all my East Coast calls. So I have to call first thing in the morning versus later in the afternoon. So what I would do is I would actually assign one person to go through all the different questions, add tags, and then search by those tags later. It's a nice little workaround.
Cool. Well, all right. I'm checking to see if there are any final questions in the chat. We did address, this Sheer Ohimala and Stepcraft, and then Jake Johnson had the same question. Well, great. I guess then if there's nothing else, we want to thank George for joining us today. As always, if you have any final questions regarding today's presentation or anything else, send an email to webinars@odoo.com, or if you want to speak to George specifically, feel free to send him an email at gsa@odoo.com. Before we go, a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can continue making these videos for you. If you showed up late and you missed the beginning or some portion of the webinar, you can use the same link to watch the video again at your leisure, and at your convenience. We also have a bunch of events going on here in this country and all over the world. For instance, yesterday we were in Santiago, Chile. We're going to be in Lima on the 19th of July, Montevideo, Uruguay, the second week of August. Here in the United States, we've got Odoo Live events coming up in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Seattle, Washington, D.C., and many more. So if you have any questions regarding those events, please visit us at odoo.com/events, and you can see all the next stops along the tour, how to register, and all of that. I believe with that, once again, my name is Noel. Thank you, George, one more time.
Come see us. We have a roadshow coming real soon to a city near you.
We do. Coming soon to a city near you. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.